What if I told you that right now, in the land of kangaroos and golden beaches, a spiritual revolution is quietly unfolding? Imagine walking through Sydney's bustling streets where the rhythmic call to prayer now mingles with the clatter of coffee cups, where once empty mosques are overflowing with new worshippers, and where Australians from all walks of life are discovering an unexpected source of peace. How did Islam, long considered a minority faith in Australia, suddenly become the fastest-growing religion in 2024? And what does this extraordinary shift reveal about our modern search for meaning? Australia, a sunburnt country known for its laid-back surf culture, multicultural cities, and increasingly secular society. Yet beneath the surface of this modern nation, something remarkable is happening. While church attendance continues to decline, mosques across major cities are struggling to accommodate unprecedented numbers. What began as a trickle of spiritual seekers has become a wave, with thousands of Australians embracing Islam each month. This isn't just about changing religious demographics. It's about a generation disillusioned with materialism, searching for authentic community, and finding answers in ancient wisdom. From corporate lawyers in Melbourne to surf instructors in Byron Bay, Australians are discovering that Islam offers something their affluent, connected lives have been missing. But this transformation didn't happen overnight. The story of Islam's rise in Australia is one of quiet persistence, innovative outreach, and a faith that speaks directly to contemporary anxieties. To understand it, we need to look beyond the numbers and meet the people behind this spiritual awakening. Meet Sarah Thompson, a 32-year-old marketing executive from Brisbane. "I had the perfect Instagram life," she confesses, "but I was drowning in anxiety." Like many millennials, Sarah found her six-figure salary and beachside apartment left her feeling empty. Her journey began when a Muslim coworker invited her to an Islam 101 Inches workshop at the local community center. "I expected dogma and rules," Sarah recalls. "Instead, I found profound answers to questions I'd been asking my whole life." What surprised her most was Islam's balance between spiritual and practical, how prayer structures the day, how zakat, charity, creates social responsibility, how fasting resets consumerist habits. Sarah's story mirrors thousands across Australia. Psychologists note increasing affluent depression among young professionals, people who have everything but feel spiritually starved. Islam's holistic approach to life is proving uniquely suited to address this modern malaise. While traditional churches struggle with declining attendance, Muslim content creators are mastering the art of digital dawah, outreach. Take 24-year-old Elijah Ahmad, a former gaming streamer who now runs Quran and Coffee, Australia's fastest-growing Islamic TikTok channel. "We meet people where they are," Elijah explains. His videos, which blend Quranic wisdom with discussions about mental health, relationships, and even sports, regularly garner millions of views. Young Australians don't want lectures, they want authentic conversations about real struggles. This digital approach has demolished barriers. Rural Australians who might never visit a mosque can now explore Islam through podcasts and live streams. Interactive apps teach prayer and Quran recitation. Even virtual reality programs allow users to experience Hajj from their living rooms. The physical spaces of worship are transforming too. Gone are the days of mosques as closed-off cultural centers. Modern Australian mosques like Sydney's Lighthouse Islamic Centre resemble community hubs with co-working spaces, counseling services, and even halal barista courses. Imam Yusuf Khan, 38, spearheaded this revolution. We asked, "What do Australians need from us?" The answer? Spaces that address real-life concerns. His mosque now hosts everything from addiction support groups to financial literacy workshops, all grounded in Islamic principles, but open to all. This approach has yielded surprising results. Up to 40% of attendees at these programs are non-Muslims, initially drawn by the practical offerings, then staying for the spiritual message. For many converts, Islam's emphasis on social justice proved decisive. Take the story of Indigenous activist Jamal Banks, formerly Jason Banks, who found in Islam a framework for his fight against inequality. "The Quran speaks directly about standing with the oppressed," Jamal explains. His journey from activist to Muslim community leader highlights how Islam's message of equality resonates powerfully in Australia's current debates about racial justice and wealth disparity.
Mosques across the country have become hubs for social initiatives, feeding the homeless, supporting refugees, even environmental cleanups. These visible acts of service are changing public perceptions and attracting socially conscious Australians. Perhaps the most unexpected development has been Islam's appeal to families. While Australia's fertility rate continues to decline, Muslim families are growing, and their visible happiness is drawing attention. "We get questions constantly," laughs Aisha Chen, a Chinese-Australian convert and mother of 4. "People see our family life, the rituals, the togetherness, the way we prioritize relationships over possessions, and they want that for themselves." Parenting workshops based on Islamic principles now attract hundreds of non-Muslim attendees. The appeal? A values-based approach to raising children in an increasingly chaotic world. This religious shift isn't occurring in a vacuum. As mosques flourish, sociologists note corresponding changes across Australian society. Interfaith marriages are skyrocketing, with Muslim-Christian now the fastest-growing category. Halal food has entered mainstream supermarkets and restaurants. Islamic finance options are becoming available at major banks. Public schools are scrambling to accommodate growing demand for Islamic studies. Yet challenges remain. Islamophobia persists in some quarters, and the rapid growth has strained community resources. Some warn against superficial conversions, emphasizing the need for deep, lasting commitment. The transformation has sparked intense debate within both Muslim and non-Muslim communities.
Some traditional imams resist modernization, fearing dilution of the faith. Islam isn't a lifestyle brand, argues Sheikh Ibrahim al-Misri of a prominent Sydney mosque. We must maintain standards. Right-wing politicians have seized on the growth to stoke fears, while progressives celebrate it as proof of multicultural success. Some churches are adapting by incorporating Islamic elements like prayer rituals, while others double down on exclusivity. Through it all, mainstream Muslim leadership walks a tightrope, embracing new converts while maintaining theological integrity, engaging with society while preserving distinct identity. As the sun dips below the horizon at Bondi Beach, casting golden ripples across the Pacific, an extraordinary sight unfolds near the iconic shoreline. A rainbow coalition of Australians, bronzed surfers shaking salt water from their hair, corporate lawyers loosening silk ties, young mothers rocking strollers with one foot, all align themselves toward Mecca. The evening breeze carries the melodic call to prayer as it mingles with the distant laughter of beachgoers and the rhythmic crash of waves. This is no isolated phenomenon. From Perth's Cottesloe Beach to the Gold Coast surfer's paradise, similar scenes now punctuate Australia's coastal twilight. What began as scattered individuals praying discreetly has blossomed into public expressions of faith that stop tourists mid-step and make locals pause in recognition. The sight of a tattooed lifeguard performing wudu, ablution, at a beach shower, or a group of nurses in scrubs unrolling prayer mats behind the hospital has become Australia's new normal.
The Bondi gathering epitomizes Islam's unique Australian evolution. Here, ancient rituals adapt seamlessly to modern settings. Smartphones replace prayer beads for some, with apps tracking prayer times and Qibla directions. A nearby cafe displays a handwritten sign. "Free dates for breaking fast, all welcome." Even the language reflects this fusion. Abuna, Aboriginal Muslim children, teach their peers Arabic words alongside indigenous greetings. This transformation speaks to something deeper than religious conversion. It reveals a society learning to weave spiritual practice into its vibrant multicultural tapestry. The surfers who pray then return to catching waves. The professionals who worship then answer work emails. They embody Islam's message that devotion and daily life need not exist in separate spheres. As stars begin to pierce the twilight sky, the congregation rises from their final prostration, faces glowing with tranquility. Nearby, curious onlookers snap photos while others respectfully lower their voices. A little girl tugs her mother's sleeve, asking why those people bowed toward the ocean. "They're saying thank you," her mother explains, "to the God who made all this beauty." With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, the most profound revolutions often begin not with grand gestures, but with quiet moments of connection, like strangers becoming community beneath